Hi, I'm Julian and welcome back. Day 6 of week 1. How are you finding it? I hope you're starting to feel just a little bit better. Moving the spine. I hope you're starting to feel the results now. Moving the spine, strengthening up the muscles around the spine. It should start to make a bit of headway. You should be feeling some reduction in pain. So, today we're going to continue with the same exercises. We're going to be working on moving the spine in each direction and also stabilizing it around it. So let's get started. So I want you to come onto your back, onto your mat or your towel. Your feet are hip width and parallel and pointing away from you, not out in the diagonal. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bring that ribcage down. Make sure that your ribs are holding that spine down so it's not lifting or bending the spine towards the ceiling. I want you to also press into the tailbone and just start to rock that pelvis back and then relax it. Let it rock towards the belly button and then press all the way through and start to clock where the center point is in this movement, because what we're going to do is bring that pelvis into that center point, and how it should feel with a lot of you is that it's slightly lifting the lower back. Now, if you bring your hands so your thumb is on your belly button, you look down and those hands are basically horizontal, then that's exactly the right place. So it might feel a little strange, but you're in exactly the right place. So what we're going to do today is start to challenge that pelvic position using the exercises that we have. And because we know that the alignment of the pelvis is really important to whether or not our lower back, our spine is curved one way or another. So bring your knees and your ankles together. I want you to keep that alignment in the pelvis as you drop your left knee down towards the floor and then squeeze it back. You're going to find that you have to really engage your glutes, your bum muscles, particularly, to be able to do this and keep that pelvis in exactly the same position. So keep dropping very slowly that knee down towards the floor. Swapping sides as you go. And be mindful that the ribcage stays down. And last one. Excellent. So that's the stability side of it. Now what I want us to do is practice moving the lumbar spine and then returning back. And we're going to be doing the spine curls to be able to do that. So let's press into the lower back, curling up the pelvis so the tailbone's pointing towards the ceiling. Really suck in that stomach as you start to lift up through the hips. And then peel your spine off like you're peeling sellotape off the wall. So it comes off gradually. Breathe in at the top, exhale, soften the ribcage, start to layer one vertebrae at a time. You're going to really have to tuck the pelvis to get each one down, and then there's the return to where it was. So making sure that you come back to that level position for the pelvis. Let's do that again. Tucking pelvis up, hollowing through the stomach, really tuck, and peeling off the spine into the bridge so you're in a nice straight position with the back, and then all the way down. Follow that stomach so you really press each part of the spine in. And let's do that again. Peeling off. Using our slow principle to maintain our alignment principle, making sure each part of the spine mobilization is working. So, keep going. And bring it down once more. And then check that alignment. Make sure the pelvis is once again horizontal. So you're going to this time keep that pelvis in a nice horizontal position. I want to make sure that you're heavy under the heels and you're going to come into a bridge. That means you're keeping our back entirely straight and we're extending through the hips, squeezing our glutes to lift up. Now you'll notice that's a very quick action. Our slow principle comes in as we're lowering down, keeping that pelvis nice and neutral. Up and slow down. And the reason why we're coming up is because I really want you to fire those glutes to make sure they're active and working, because we need those to make sure this movement is working from the hip, but your pelvis is also nice and level during the movement. Nice straight back. Good bum exercise. We want to do if you want to look good in the tighty whiteys. And coming back down. Three more. And the last one. Then when you bring the arms overhead, forward, and come into sitting. So, remember, if you need to bend your legs for this, great. But we're going to bring that pelvis up. So it's pointing straight up. There we go. And the palms are facing each other. So again, we're going to move the pelvis out of position and then bring it back in. So just tucking the pelvis underneath, rolling the lower back out, and then lifting up. So that everything else maintains a nice and neutral position. You'll see by rolling that pelvis backwards, the rest of your back is coming out. It will drag the mid part of the back. And that's why, a lot of us have that curved back, and it comes from one area, right at the bottom of the spine, so you can see how important getting this pelvic alignment is. Reset that up. And one more. And then let's bring that back. So from this position, again we're going to challenge the stability of the pelvis. I want you to get a nice straight back. Pelvis is aligned and the feet are off the ground and the hips are in a nice right angle. So you're just going to bring those down, toes down, and then back to the right angle. It's a really small movement. But what I want you to concentrate on is that movement coming from the hips and not from the lower back. So you're going to have to work really hard, and it's going to come from your back muscles, not necessarily your stomach muscles, to keep that position. Some of you might be feeling this in your hip flexors in front of the thighs as well. Legs are heavy, and this inner range type movement can drive them a little bit crazy. Let's do two more. And then come forward. And I on you come all the way back. That will tighten everything up. Moving on from keeping that alignment, let's make sure hands are parallel, but let's go into our hip rolls and then stretch everything out. So peeling off the outside foot, shoulders are down, core is turned on, and you can see how the alignment of the pelvis is now really important for promoting that stretch. And keep that level as you roll through. And you'll keep the rib cage down. Peel off the outside foot, keep the knees and the ankles squeezed together and the shoulders down. And then the last one. And then bring it to center. And we're going to show you that pelvic alignment from the other side. So let's go into our cobra. So, elbows are pointing out to the side. I want you to bring your legs slightly along the foot. Now, how does this work in the cobra position? Well, what you might have noticed is that when I'm cueing this in, we're lifting through the back leg, pushing through, and at this point, I'm cueing just to come off the front of the hips, extending at the hips essentially. Now, keeping some alignment in that pelvis means that you're not falling into the lower back. And that way you can do this nice and easily without putting too much pressure on the spine going backwards. Now, if you're yoga mad or you aspire to that, you will find that they have much more of a curve in the lower back. That's fine as long as it's controlled, but while you are experiencing back pain, my advice is for you not to do that until you have the strength and control around the pelvic area and the lower back, so that you can lift out of the joints and not put pressure on it. Let's do one more. And then push ourselves up into 4-point kneeling. So we're going to finish off today with a cat. And again, we're moving in and out of the alignment. What I want you to think about is not sinking there, but bringing it back to that center position. So these are always engaged. So let's try that. We're moving out by curling the pelvis underneath, lifting the belly button, letting that roll up the back, up through the shoulder blades, and in with the head. Breathing there, engage the glutes, and drag that back. Now, I want you to video this. It's our revisit time. And particularly concentrate on whether or not that pelvis is coming to a straight out horizontal position, or whether you're going too far through it or not far enough. If your knees are underneath your hips, your hip joint should be at a right angle. You shouldn't be missing that point by not going in there. but it's quite possible you might be sinking too far through. I want you to video it. If you are doing that, go back to this exercise and try again by drawing that pelvis back to a horizontal position. And there we go. So day 6 might be Saturday or Sunday, I guess, there. Regardless, it's probably near the end of the week or something. So day 6, we've got one more day of the trial week left. Tomorrow I'm going to be giving you a taste of what comes in the subsequent weeks. We've talked about 2 of our principles. The first is slow, really moving slowly through these movements so all of the muscles and all of the joints can get involved in it, and you can learn some control. And we've also talked about alignment, fundamentally ensuring that the spine is in the point of least resistance against gravity, so wear and tear and ease of movement is promoted, as well as movement from the joint. Tomorrow we'll start to talk about the other 5 principles, and you can make a decision based on how you feel, whether or not you want to continue with the rest of this 6-week program. I'm hoping you're feeling a lot better. Hopefully it's doing you a lot of good and you'll carry on. In the meantime, have a great day. See you.